What's up, my friends? Welcome to Daisy's Garden. And today I was going to discuss the importance that you can find in suffering and negativity and things like that. To start, everybody really kind of has an idea of what negativity and suffering means. You know, it's something that's an egoic reaction to things that are external to you. Sometimes they're internal, but most things that cause negative emotions are external. You know, maybe a personal hardship you're going through, maybe it's bills or money or something, or it could be something very emotionally based, like losing a loved one or a relationship falling apart or something like that. And you know, we view these things as, you know, something that sucks, but that's life, you know, bad things happen, whatever, which is, I mean, a good, you know, a pretty good way to get through it is by realizing that everybody goes through it. But I think the biggest thing when it comes to suffering and depression and anxiety and stuff like that is that, you know, there's a reason why we feel these things. And it's not an egoic, it is an egoic reaction, but it's also something that we can manipulate through ourselves to make these things not as negative. Such as, say you are walking outside. Say you're walking outside and you're walking on the sidewalk and someone yells something at you. And it's one of those things where me personally, if I'm walking down the sidewalk and someone yells something at me, I don't get like flustered or anything. I just get a little like nervous. I'm just like, you know, why are you yelling at me? You know, one of those things. So it's just, you know, a little weird example of just like letting something externally affect you like that. You know, like now I don't care when people do that anymore because it's something that, I know it's a minor example and there's a lot of bigger things, but I don't know, for me that was something that always was like a little thing to me that I thought was just kind of odd that I reacted to it in that way, but now it's cool to understand, you know, why and getting over it. So I realized that nothing external to you matters. Nothing external to you should affect your internal condition. There should be nothing externally to you that determines your worth inside of you. All that comes from within yourself. If you let other things and other people like drain your energy and influence you in a certain way, then you're at the mercy of things you can't control outside of you. But you can control yourself way easier than you can external circumstances. So you can just be aware that something is making you unhappy. Being aware of that unhappiness will help you get over it quicker, because if something little happens to you and it upsets you and you dwell on yourself, it's gonna snowball. It's an avalanche. Because at a certain point, I know Coy Fresco talks about this. He talks about catch and releasing. You know, you try to catch yourself quick. And you know, if you start realizing that you're unhappy and that, you know, you're kind of dwelling on it, you know, if you catch it early enough, you can just let it go and then it passes right through. But the longer you resist it, the harder it's going to be to get rid of. So if you catch it quickly and you just let yourself feel it and accept it and move on, it's going to go by so much quicker. So the best thing to do is to be aware that it's happening, but don't attach to be aware of negativity, but don't attach to negativity. Because if you're aware of it, you're an observer, so you're not attached to it. Once you become that perspective, that's when you attach to it. You know, it's a direct attachment. But if you become the observer, you can break that attachment way easier. So it's something you can even visually do, like in your head. You can view if you're angry or sad or something, you know, generally most people that, you know, are considerate people, if they see someone that's upset, you know, they feel for them, you know, they're sympathetic toward them. So if you picture yourself from a third perspective, if you picture yourself and you're like crying or you're really angry, you know, you can see that in yourself, it's a lot easier to break it down and be like, oh, wow, like it just offers a whole new perspective that I've learned that a few months ago, and I started implementing it, and it works really well. It's a very good or a good tool to get you through it. And I mean, they still serve a purpose. Even negativity still serves a purpose, because what it does is the principle of polarity from the Kybalion. One of the best tools that I've personally ever experienced with reading and personal development and spiritual enlightenment is this idea of polarity. And it's pretty much, if you visualize a pole, you have two extremes. You have like hot and cold, tall, short. Even though they're opposites in normal language, hot and cold, obviously hot and cold, very different, tall, short. But they are the same thing. They just vary by degree. Tall and short, it's a size. So it's the same thing, but they're just different extremes, and they just vary by degree. Same with hot and cold, temperature. They just vary by degree. Same with emotions, happy and sad. So, the way I view it and the way that they explain it in the Kybalion is, I think it's the Kybalion, I don't know, because there's a few different books I've read that kind of refer to this principle without directly saying that it's this principle, but it honestly kind of ties in with it. And that's where when you feel like you're at rock bottom and you are at the lowest point that you feel like you'll ever be at, that will match the high, because you can only experience the highest ecstasy when you experience the lowest of rock bottom for you. Because you have to tap into all the extremes in order to experience the whole pole. So you have to experience ecstasy to feel suffering, like the bottom of the bottom. And then you have to experience bottom of the bottom to feel ecstasy. So even though suffering may seem kind of pointless, and eventually it is, because once you become aware of feeling like complete garbage, it's not the most fun, but it is one of the most beneficial things that you can undergo. And then once you can kind of grasp that more and you start applying it and you start realizing the benefits of it, that's when you can really start getting into the law of neutrality. And that is kind of what I explained about how you can be aware of negativity and be aware of suffering and anxiety and stuff, but you don't attach to it. You become an observer behind it. And once you start getting that down, you realize that you can live practically every day. Even if negative emotions come up or something happens, you can still get through it by just being aware of negativity and not attaching to it, because then you aren't feeling negativity and you aren't feeling, maybe you feel just content, you feel just kind of like, kind of average, but at least you're not drugged down by this, this negativity or external situations. And to me, that is one of the biggest things that I've come across with this work. And it's something that, it's still an adjustment for me. I'm not claiming that I, have mastered this, and I'm not. I definitely have not, and I'm on the process of this too. But I feel like I've understood it enough to be able to discuss it, because, that's what I've been doing. Since I haven't been uploading for a while, I've been doing a lot of work on myself with I've been doing a lot more, eating a lot more. I've been doing a lot of calisthenic work. I've been doing a lot of yoga. I've been just doing a lot more external things that are, which is funny because I kind of contradict myself by saying not to let external things affect your internal value, but it's not even my value. It's more of like making myself better from the inside out, as in eating more and working out. Because it's good to be active, so it's like the more active I am, I've been starting to feel better and better and better. And I'm at the point now where I want to start making videos again, because I can understand a lot of these things that I talk about. I can understand them a lot more now, and they're a lot easier to discuss now. So it's a lot easier for me to make these videos. So, and I just love spreading this message, because man, everybody deserves to feel good. Everybody has the potential to feel good. No matter what, like I said, if you're in the lowest of the low, that's honestly a good thing, because that means you're gonna be able to climb that pole all the way up, and it's going to be amazing for you. And everybody can experience that, and I want everybody to experience that. You know, if they don't want to, then obviously they have to want to in order to experience this. You know, this isn't something that I can just say, wow, you know, you gotta do this, and then if they resist it or don't wanna do it, that's okay, like they don't wanna do it. But if they give it a shot and be open about it, it's gonna change their life, and it's gonna be amazing, and it's gonna help you focus on things that are gonna, make you happier. And because, you gotta realize that with life, I'm personally working on spiritual enlightenment, but I am aware that once you experience something like that, you are going to have to come back to an egoic state, and you are going to have to, if we didn't have an ego, there'd be no reason to eat, there'd be no reason to talk, there'd be no reason to do anything, there'd be no desire. So we have to realize that we can live in a balance between being in your ego and detaching from everything. There has to be a balance. So you have to do some things externally that are going to make you happy. So you have to, figure out what that is. I still am working on mine, but right now, my personal one is spiritual work, because I'm at a point right now where I have a stable job, which I like. I'm supporting myself, which is awesome. So I feel like externally, when it comes to like job security and like a roof over my head and stuff, like that's all good. So right now I'm more focusing on internal stuff, and then once I get that done, I'm gonna be a walking, talking, happy machine, pretty much, and I'm very excited for that. And I mean, already I just feel so much better than I did a year ago. So much better than a few years ago. Like every day is progress, and I feel like some days you might have a few steps back, but that's okay. That's the point of this work, is the waves that it takes you on. It takes you to these tsunami waves of fucking ecstasy, to the depths of hell. And it's just about, equilibrium, and about bringing it back to a natural, normal state. And it's something that I wish upon everybody. And I don't know, so I hope this helped you out a little bit. And I hope that if you are watching this and you're feeling shitty, that's okay. And honestly, that is a good thing. That's going to help you to become better on a more emotional perspective, I guess. But I mean, other things too, but I'm definitely emotionally based if you're feeling like crap, because, feeling is emotionally based. So if you feel like shit, you can feel better from that. You can do mental alchemy. I think it's transmutation, where, you turn metal into gold, turn negativity into positivity. You can do it. Definitely can be done. So meditate, yoga, eat healthy. Those are the main things. Those are the biggest things that help me, for sure. And surrounding yourself with some people that make you happy. That's also something. Even though I personally I like to really kind of keep to myself. Well, not keep to myself, but like, I like my alone time. I like my Vinny time a lot. But I do like having friends, because friends are awesome. So surround yourself with good people, good food, yoga, meditation. That's all I can say. Those external things will help you a lot. And just look up other videos, because there's so many beneficial things on YouTube that have helped me, like Koi Fresco, Actualize.org, Infinite Waters. Those are the main ones for me, for sure. And obviously listening to lectures by like Terrence McKenna and Alan Watts. A little bit of Graham Hancock I've been listening to. Who else? Ram Dass is a good one. But yeah, so that's a few examples of some very beneficial people that you can look up, and that'll help take you to another perspective on what I've said. And it's all a process, and it's a fun one. So hope you're having a great day, my friends. Like I said, if you're not, it's okay. It's gonna get better. just don't resist it and let it flow, let it go. Yeah, so until next time, guys, have a great day today. And don't forget those happy trails and those nature baths and those prana breaths to keep you grounded, my friends. See you later, guys.